Hello. Hello, hello. This is Kenya Rahmaan, author and founder of the Child Support Hustle and the Fatherless Crisis Hustle. I'm still trying to figure out the Zoom going live type thing. So please work with me. How's everybody doing this evening? Let me see if I do the chat. Will it come over here? I don't know if it will, but I'll see. I don't think it will though. Anyway, if you comment, I'm not going to be able to see it, but please comment and I'll go back and answer questions or anything like that. So, as the title says, what I'm finding out, which I'm not surprised. Well, I'm kind of surprised because there's so much information out, but kind of not, because people are just, they're angry, and so they are just saying whatever because they want revenge. So they're supporting this nonsense about, the child support bills that are being introduced. They want child support to start at conception, which is crazy. And so I'm just like putting out facts. I look at this as an opportunity because it's really an opportunity to show that the right to parenthood or the right to not become a parent is not equal. So when traditionally, mostly women, I mean, men too will say, if you don't want a child, keep it in your pants. That was what they would say to men. Well, now it can go both ways, where I know I have said, and a lot of people that, are on my page, and that's something that we've said along the way, that, keep it in your pants. Women need to do that too. It's equality. It's about being equal. If a woman can opt out of parenthood, so should a man. A man should be able to opt out of paying child support. So I'm finding that so out of anger, they're supporting this child support at conception, and these a lot of people don't even know what child support really is. And so this guy on Twitter says, and this is just how ridiculous this bill, and they've tried this for years. They've been wanting to have child support start at conception for a long time. This is not new. This is probably the best way that they could maybe try to get it off, but it's not a new thing. So as it says, he thinks the state should mandate DNA samples from any man the woman identifies as a potential parent. Now just take that and just think about how many constitutional violations that is. Just because a woman says that she slept with you does not mean that you can just come and take that man's DNA. What if she's lying? I mean, we're talking about 9 months here. Like, why not wait like they do now until the baby is born and then get a DNA sample? It makes no sense, except that they need to get these cases established. Because I've said this over and over, I've been saying it for years. These cases, the TANF cases, that's their bread and butter. That's how these states make their money. That's the big money, these welfare Title 4D cases. That's where the money is. So the sooner they can get these child support cases established, paternity established, the sooner they can get the cases established, the sooner they can get the money start collecting. So one of the things that I'm pretty sure that a lot of these people that are supporting child support at conception are not aware of is that the child support system is a welfare recovery program. It's welfare. And how it's welfare is because when a low income custodial parent, mainly mothers, have to go and apply for benefits because they can't afford to take care of the child or children, they go down and sign up for TANF and Medicaid. Well, when they do that, Uncle Sam makes them sue the other parent for child support. It's a mandate. Well, the other parent is likely low income too. So, and they start off in debt most of the time because the child support is retroactive. So that's where you find out where you see these low income parents, because that's who owes the most child support debt. It's not because they didn't pay the money, it's because they started out $10,000, $20,000 in the debt based on being charged medical bills and everything like that from when the baby was delivered. Maybe not all the way to from conception, but from when the baby was delivered until the child support order was established. So the performance measures, there's 5 of them, and this is how states get paid. These states care nothing about children. They never have, and they never will. So their child support performance and incentive system. That's how this thing operates. It's been driven, and it has driven performance for nearly 20 years, more now. So the first thing in the performance measures, and they have to have 70% or more in order to get paid this incentive money annually. The first thing is paternity establishment percentage. The more paternity establishments, i.e., let's get them while they're at conception. Let's get them rolling in. That's the more money that they get. The second is support order establishment. So I say this all the time when guys say that they signed the birth certificate, especially in paternity fraud cases, they say they signed the birth certificate. The birth certificate is really doesn't even really mean anything unless you're married. If you're unmarried and you sign that birth certificate, it's just, that's nothing. It's the AOP, or acknowledgement of paternity. That's when you sign that at the hospital. That's when they don't even need to take you to court or anything like that. You've acknowledged you're the father, and they can just go and put you on child support. You don't even need to know anything. But that's a whole different video. That support order establishment is one of the performance measures, and that gets them incentive money. The next one is the current collections. The more money they collect, because child support is a collection agency for the government. So the more money they collect for the current support, the more money they get. The next one is arrearage collection. They just collected a bunch of money on those arrearages from the stimulus money that came out. They always get a nice chunk of change on the tax offsets. They clean up, but the stimulus money, remember they were going back and forth. They gave some to parents that owed arrearages. I think the third one, they let parents keep the $600 one. Well, a lot of arrearages, the amount dropped because they robbed so many parents, non-custodial parents, of their money. And the last one is cost effectiveness. For every dollar that jurisdiction states spend on the child support program, they receive a return on investment. In 2021, it was $5.27. Some states, Texas, Ohio, I believe Tennessee, I'm not 100% on Tennessee, but they receive double digits. That is not unheard of. That's really common. $11, $12. That's all profit. But in these states that profit the most, they do not pass through child support collected to the children that it really belongs to. So if you hear people talking about pass through is when they collect this child support for these low income families, because these mothers have to assign their rights to child support over to the state. So when they do that, it's just what it sounds like. They don't have any rights to that money anymore. So it's up to the state. It goes to the state, passes through them, and if they want to, they can pay that money to the family. Currently, less than half pay any money collected on behalf of these children to those families. Only two, one just became a state that passed all the money through. The first one and only one was Colorado. I don't want to say the second one because I'm not 100% sure, but I'll get y'all that information. But there's only two. And this has been since 1996. Texas, man, they just collected, they just wrote records on how much they collected in 2021, and they only passed through $75 to low income TANF receiving parents. So when you support, or you say, yeah, get child support at conception, or you support child support, period, and tell people to go put them on child support and this and that, and rally about the system and love this system and don't know what the system is, I beg of you to research this system. It's not what you think it is, especially if you don't have any money. If you are living paycheck to paycheck and he's living paycheck to paycheck, and you put him on child support, where do you think this money is going to come from? And then when you figure out that it's really a hustle and you go down there and try to take him off of child support, trust me, it's not easy. They're going to give you a fight. And if you don't have that fight in you, that's what it is. And after you pay, or he pays all the money back, then they may let you get some of that money. But that money is not yours. So don't rally unless you're just doing it out of spite. At this point, once you know what the system is and how it affects you, your family, everybody like that, if you go down there and do it knowing that you're going to get like 20 cent, I see 20-cent checks, 50-cent checks. Once you see that and you still go down there and put him on child support, at that point, you got to call it what we're going to call it. Here's another, and this is an observation that I've talked about over the years a little bit. So you see, you have a welfare case, you have the welfare cases and non-welfare cases. You see the people with the TANF Title 4D cases, the low income people lose their license. The people that can't pay, they owe the most debt, lose their license, go to jail for contempt, get all the enforcement, the punishments. Whereas if you see a private child support case where there's no money owed to the government, you'll see hardly any enforcement. And I see parents say, I don't have a welfare case, and they don't suspend his license, they do this, they never enforce anything. Well, that's because that money is owed to the parent. It's not owed to the government. They have no reason to enforce your case. Why would they? They're not going to collect. They don't get an incentive. There's no incentive for them to collect your money. So if there's any reason for anybody to support reform to the child support system, it would be the people that have private child support cases. If they stop with the Title 4D, the welfare cases, and punishing poor parents and making them sue other poor parents, they could concentrate on the real quote unquote deadbeats, the ones that willfully fail to pay and take care of their children. Because as it stands, if they don't have any reason, they're not going to do it. So that's just food for thought. If you ever wonder why they don't enforce your case or why they don't give a fuck, it's because they don't. Why would they? They're not getting no money. They pay, if you have a private case, it's $35 a year and whatever little 10s or 20 that they take out for fees. If they go after a low income parent relentlessly and say they play the numbers or go to the casino and hit for $100,000, they don't get $30,000-$40,000 off the head. So who do you think they're going to pursue? The child support hustle is real. And although I'm not active, of course, I love to share the information. What else am I going to do with damn near 20 years of information about child support except share it? So, yeah. So next time, for the people that like to argue with me and sometimes I have time for it, sometimes I don't. But I think this is the moment that Roe being overturned. I think this is a time when child support reform, if you will, I think this is the moment because things have to shift. Like before we were saying, fighting for reform, where it was going to be a fight. Like the way it was set up, the politicians were saying, the female constituency wasn't having it. Well, okay, we understand that, but you do some shit like they just did. Now there has to be a conversation about equality in parenthood. There has to be a conversation about, okay, 50-50 shared parenting. There has to be a conversation about low income parents going to jail. Like everything that we've been talking about, there has to be a conversation about it because otherwise, I mean, you can't have your cake and eat it too, because they can't keep doing what they've been doing because we said no more. You can't do it. So for those that have been asking me, like, what do you think Ro, you think it's over for it? No, I don't think it's over for fathers. I think this is the time for fathers, advocates, all of us that have been fighting for so long. This is the time to be vocal. This is the time to share the information that you've learned with your own personal experience, and what you've learned with the statistics, with the everything for years that we've been fighting for. This is the time when you see this guy, Joseph over here, and he's saying mandate DNA samples from potential parents. This is the time to talk about damn paternity fraud. Did you know that Carnell Alexander in Detroit was in jail 5 times for a kid that wasn't his because somebody's mama lied off of the child support system because she had to put a name down to get welfare, and the process server lied because process servers lie and nobody has accountability. And then you can go look the case up, and then there's a Office of Child Support Enforcement up there in DC. They don't want to answer people's complaints. Then there's Walter Scott that got shot in the back by the police because he didn't want to go back to jail for a warrant. He didn't have the money, and he's dead. Talking about Robert Sycon, who was shot in the back running because he didn't want to go back to jail. His kids is on TV crying, saying what a great father he was. We got bullied to death. I can't think of it. I mean, it's all these fathers. We got the father that was just shot down here in Lubbock, just going to go pick up his son. Chad Reed. So this is the time. Custody exchanges aren't even safe anymore. You can't call this a fatherless crisis and you don't let fathers have their kids. This is the time. This is what we've been talking about. This is what we've been screaming about. This is what we've been protesting about. This is what we've been writing letters about. This is what we've been those social media typing about. So that's what I feel. This is what Roe v. Wade overturning means to me. I don't think these ridiculous bills are going to do anything. I think this is the conversation that we have been wanting, and this is the change. This is the change that is going to be. But don't be silent. Make your voice heard and bring awareness. A lot of people, I'm finding out, don't know because it doesn't affect them. So let them know how it's affected you. So thank you guys for joining my live. I don't know who's here. I don't know if anybody's here, but if you did join me, thank you very much. Thank you for, rocking with me on my social media platforms. I'm gonna try to figure this Zoom thing out. So when I travel, I'm gonna be traveling here coming up. So if I have connections where I'm at, I'm just gonna come on with the Zoom. Plus, I want to put up pictures and stuff. This shit is neat. And people be talking shit all the time. Now I can sit up now I can put them on blast, like, look what this motherfucker said to me. No, y'all know I gotta put my little cussing in. But yeah, hey, y'all have been warned that y'all talk shit to me. Y'all coming up on the thing. All right. So thank y'all. Excuse me. If you want to show me some love and support journalism, I'm writing a new book. So if you want to support, show some love, my Cash App is $TCSH1. The Child Support Hustle 1, but just the letters. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube because I'm over there. Well, you don't have to, because I'm come over here now. I can see I can go to both places and talk about different things, but I'm usually over there just because it's easier. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I wasn't rocking with Facebook because they censor me. I've been at 63 followers, or what is it, likes, for like 5 or 6 years. And I keep seeing likes coming through and that number don't ever change. It's crazy. I'm like, really? But whatever. I can't stand Facebook, but I love y'all. All right, y'all. Y'all take it easy. And as always, I gotta put my fist in it. Fight the power.